Speaking about who we are, as I mentioned, I am Violeta. I'm a digital adoption manager for live events in EMEA. And today I'm joined by Anj and Maurits, who will be your presenters for this session. What you're actually going to see would be what it is, Oracle Digital Assistant, how it can help you. We will try to show some of the examples. And of course, we're going to focus more on the demo side. So Maurits and Anj will show you how Oracle Digital Assistant can help you actually. That being said, I would like to pass over to Maurits now. Maurits, the floor is yours.
Here we are. Yeah, thank you and welcome all. And the great thing about these sessions is that we want to have them with lots of demos, lots of cool stuff, and don't spend too much time in all kind of PowerPoint slides. But as always, I want to start with a few slides just to explain some concepts that help you understanding the demonstrations that Anshu and I will give a little bit better. So what is a digital assistant? It is basically a new kind of channel, a new kind of user interface for users to use applications or functions or activities they want to do. And it's all conversational. And I think most of us by now are very used to the concept of conversational interfaces if we chat with friends or family or colleagues, etc. And the digital assistant is the same kind of paradigm, but then you are talking to an application, talking to a system. So instead of asking someone, when will you be home? You could ask, what's the amount on my bank account? Or how much holidays do I have left? Or these kind of things. Or what is your address? What are your opening hours? So that's what the digital assistant does. And a very important aspect that we will focus on during these demos this morning is that it is based on natural language processing. So it's not like when you type in something that we use some kind of search algorithm, but it really tries to understand the intention of the user. And that also means that in your dialogue, like we humans do a lot, we can refer to the context. So if you're talking about taking a holiday off, you could say, I want it to start tomorrow. And then the digital assistant knows what it is. And it can also correlate all kind of different kind of ways in how you could say something. So it is a natural language based process. And the digital assistant can also proactively do things for you, warn you for stuff, give you extra information, etc. A little bit about the architecture and what it's all about. What you see in this slide is that the digital assistant, which is running here, which has the NLP engine, which tries to understand everything that a user might say or type or whatever. And it's connected to one or more channels. And you can have one digital assistant connected to your web channel in your website, but also in a mobile app, or in a Slack channel, or in WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or anything. So you could connect it to multiple channels where users can access the functionality of the digital assistant. Behind the digital assistant, we define skills. So one digital assistant might have 3 or 10 skills connected to it. And skill is an area of expertise. So a skill could be about HR stuff. A skill could be about holiday places to visit, interesting knowledge about all kinds of places on Earth. It could be about IT support. It could be about product returns, etc. And these skills, they contain the lingua for that domain, and they contain also the expertise to handle certain queries, to ask questions back to the user, provide more info, etc. And on their term, these skills are integrated with backend systems, with an HCM system or an ERP system or a database or whatever you have. So that they can actually do stuff. And with the Oracle Digital Assistant, we have out-of-the-box skills for all our SaaS applications. We have skills for specific use cases like IT support, agent handover, etc. And you can build your own custom skills for anything that you want. So not related to anything existing already. Well, as I said, the digital assistant is all about natural language processing, which is part of the AI space. And it contains natural language processing, understanding the user, understanding what the user means and what it really wants. And there's also machine learning, learning from experience, learning from mistakes, training the language model on more and more phrases, more and more ways how users could ask or say something, etc. And I think this is already a good place to show something. So let's see here. I have a skill here, part of a digital assistant, and this is just a demo skill, very simplistic. It contains two things I've trained it on. I've trained it on colors and I trained it on music. And this training model is very brief and very limited. So in a real life situation, you could do much more advanced stuff. But I say you have to understand colors. And the way I train the language model is typing some sample sentences. So I say, I like blue, and I love red, and white is pure, and black is not my thing. Yeah. And I also trained it a little bit about music. And I say, I adore jazz. I love blues. Orchestras are nice. And based on this, if you look at the conversational interface, I could say, I like blue. And then it says, hold on, it has to wake up. That's my favorite color too. And it has a confidence that we're talking about colors of 1, so 100%. And of course you say, yeah, right, this is one of the sentences you trained it with. If you look here at colors, yeah, you see, I like blue, it's there. So we have blue, red, green, black, white, etc. But the nice thing of this training model is that I could also say, let's say, I like yellow. And I've never told this skill about yellow. Yeah, but it knows, yellow, that's also a color. Because I saw blue and red and green and black and white. So yellow is fine too. I could also say, I really love some gold. Let's see. It's not completely certain that it's a color. Yeah, there's 77% chance, but at least based on this limited training data, it leans a little bit more to colors than it leans to music. Yeah, because gold, yeah, maybe he means the color of gold. We don't know. I could also say I love, let's say, funk. And let's say, yeah, that's music. Funk, that's music. Let's look in the training model here of music. Jazz, disco, blues, pop music, orchestra. There's no funk in there. Yeah. I could also look at that this way, and then you can very easily see the probabilities. I could say I love Beethoven. Yeah, and then we see there's an 84% chance that it's about music and a 10% chance it's about colors. Yeah? But if, for example, let's do it here again, say I like holiday, and then something interesting happens, because holiday, it can't really figure out, is it more about colors or about music? And in this case, I said, if you're not sure, just present them some options. Say the most likely things of all the training you had, and in this case, it's only color and music. Just show a menu. Are you talking about colors or music, or maybe something else? Yeah, this is completely configurable. So you are always in control what you want this to look like and how it works. And now we said, no, I mean music. And then it says, okay, and the probability was only 59%, right? So this is just a way of how the natural language model works. It does not only work on phrases and certain words, but it is much broader. It knows the space. It says, okay, this is about colors, and color could also be gold or the color of the sky or whatever, right? So that's a little bit about the NLP. Some more examples. As I said, the best way to show you what a digital assistant is to show you some examples. And I grabbed a few together for this morning. And this is Sanquin, a Dutch blood bank. And as you see, they wanted the digital assistant to start in Dutch because 99% of the users is Dutch. But since we have now an international audience, we don't want to go for Dutch, so we just use another language. And in this case, I can use any language I want. I can say, if I say danke, for example, it switches to German. Yeah, and if I say merci, it switches to French. Yeah? So let's say that we want to give blood again to this blood service. So let's see. I want to give blood again. So I'm typing in English now. And then the bot says, okay, this is English. So we're talking English now. And what is the user really wanting to do here? What is the intention of the user? Does he want to know the directions to our office or whatever? And based on the training model, I also made an intention giving blood again. And I trained that model with I want to give blood, can I come by to provide some, etc. So I give some example sentences to train that. And based on that, it recognized, this person wants to give blood again. So it says, nice to hear in English. What's your birth date? Let's say May 7th, 1968. I'm sorry, I'm that old. My zip code, let's see, this is my zip code and my home number. And now it's going to connect to the back office and see if it can retrieve my data based on my birth date, my zip code, and my house number. And then it says, okay, this is probably you, right? And of course, you could add some extra checks in here and maybe send a text message to a phone with a code they have to type, etc. Well, nothing's changed in my medical history. So when would I like to have this appointment? And here again, we can see that we are dealing with a natural language processing engine. So I do not have to specify June 16, etc. I could also say, well, what shall we do? The third Monday of July. Let's see if that works. Okay, so that's July 18th. Okay? So this is the power of natural language processing. You don't have to specify exact numbers or words. You can just use natural language and say, okay, yeah, do it the third Monday of July. It figures it out. It knows it's about a date, okay, July 18th. So let's take an appointment in the afternoon, and now it's scheduled. Maybe a few days later, I say, I want to reschedule my appointment. And just as your own chat channels with your friends and family and colleagues, this session could stay open for weeks or months. So the digital assistant still knows that he's dealing with Maurits Dijkens. He doesn't ask me again to provide my name or my birth date or whatever. And it says, okay, let me see. You now have an appointment for July 18. Yeah, and I don't want to wait that long. I want to go next Thursday. Hold on, next Thursday. Okay, June 30, and I want to do it in the morning. So this is just one example of how a digital assistant can do real work for the user. It's available 24/7. And the company doesn't have to deal with all these phone calls anymore. Yeah. Another similar example, and I think this one's also Dutch, but we don't care. This is a retail shop, a big retail chain in the Netherlands. And let's see, do you have All Stars in stock? And let's copy this for later, because I can do some tricks. And what happens here, it recognizes my intention. This is a user that wants to know about stock, if we have things in stock right now. And there's also something like all stars. So what is all stars? And then it remembers, okay, this is a model of a certain brand of a certain shoe that we have in our inventory. So you don't have to specify what is the stock of Converse, All Stars, etc. You don't have to watch the spelling, etc. You can just say, do you have green shoes? Yeah, and it just comes up with the different brands and models of green shoes. In this case, I asked for all stars, but I didn't specify a color. So let's specify the gray color. And I also didn't specify a size. So let's say size 9. And then it said, yeah, okay, we have 4 gray all stars in our shop near you. Yeah, this could be based on my location, etc. So let's reserve them on the name Mo, and a phone number to get back to me, 652-553-053, and there we go. Well, I put my question in my clipboard, so I could also say, do you have all stars in blue, size 12? And then it doesn't ask me any question, because it says, I know enough. I know the brand and model, I know the size, I know the color. I immediately present you with the answer. Yeah? And in this case, the answer is also they are in stock and we can reserve them and have 2 reservations. Yeah? So that's another example. Let's look at something different now. Hold on. Let's see. This one is nice. This is a digital assistant we implemented for employees of the BBC. And actually, I also have it running on my mobile phone. And then I can use some functions that are much easier on a mobile phone. Let's say that I'm a producer working at BBC, and I'm on the road. And let's see how the ratings of my show are at the moment. So I'm driving, so I'm not going to type on my phone, but I just use the microphone. Ratings of shows. And then it shows my shows. Yeah, and I can choose one. So, well, let's choose the Top Gear one. And it retrieves the actual data from the analytics system. And it shows the latest data of viewing rates of this show of the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Let's say that I want to take a holiday. And let's see how much holidays I have left. How much holidays do I have left? And it says, okay, I've got 19 holidays. Did I get paid? And I've got money, so let's take a holiday. I want to take a day off. Which date? Tomorrow. Okay, I've submitted the leave for you. Yeah. So this is how easy life could be for the users at BBC, for the employees. Also, when they are on the road, they have this app on their mobile and they can do these kind of things. And let's say that I have been fueling my car, but my company credit card didn't work, so I need to expense fuel. Expense fuel. And then it says, hey, why didn't you use your company card? Well, because it didn't work. Okay, make a picture or upload the receipt. Let's make a picture here. And by the way, Anshu will have a much better, nicer demo than this later on. But I take a picture here of the receipt. Okay. And it gets uploaded to the digital assistant. The digital assistant checks if it is a fuel receipt. It says, okay, it's unleaded fuel, 23 liters. We would love to have fuel for this price right now, right? Okay, but this is correct. So it's submitted and it's done. And if there are more questions, we'll see them later on, or maybe get an email, whatever. Something interesting happens now. The digital assistant recognizes that since it contacted the fuel expense system, whatever, that my license verification has expired. So it proactively warns me, your license verification has expired. Do you want to upload a new one? So let's do that. and get it over with. The license verification. Here we go. No limitations. So I'm really happy, and I just say, I love you. And then the digital assistant says, I love me too, right? So these are just some examples of how a digital assistant could be used in real life to make life easier for users, but also to make sure that call centers or help desks don't have to respond to lots of usual questions that they receive a lot. Let's go back to the PowerPoint slides. So I did show some examples. I did show what digital assistants could look like, and just right after this, Anshu is also going to show some really interesting things. But one thing to keep in mind if you talk about digital assistant of Oracle is that it contains all the bits and pieces needed to create these digital assistants. So it has out of the box the channel support, the language engine, the language processing, flow engine, the skill stores, etc., etc. And it is all in one module, in one solution. So in contrast to other chatbot solutions, you don't have to implement and configure the NLP engine, or you have to configure channel engines or these kind of things. This is one integrated suite. And if you create digital assistants, you can start right away. If you make a trial account and bring up a digital assistant environment, you can have your first digital assistant in 10 minutes. And all of this is included. There's also a lot of analytics provided out of the box of your digital assistant. So if you look here, do I still have it? Let's look here. The one with the colors and the music. We have some analytics here. And you can see, for example, it's a little bit slow. Okay, we had 100 conversations, 97 were complete. It was all about music and about colors, of course. It was all via the testing channel. There were some 6 system handled errors, and everything was in English. And we could also see even what the conversations were like. If we look here and we look at this last conversation, I like holiday. This is what I did, right? Do you want colors or music? Music. Okay, we all love music. So we can even look at all these conversations, and we can also see the different paths that users have walked and what kind of actions and intents they did. Yeah. Okay, I think back to you, Anshu, and show us some real cool things about the AI engine and language processing part.
Sure. Thank you, Maurits. So it was really interesting to see the ML part of that. So let me share my screen, guys. And over here, I have a small demo where I have some integrations with the backend, because what you saw a lot of ML support that the bot provides at the moment. But apart from that, there's a major question that many people ask, that how easy is it to integrate with any backend? So making that in the picture. So we have designed a small demo for today. So let me just refresh it. And if you see over here, we have a small digital assistant that we have in this particular page. So if I just open it up, so this is something related to expense reimbursement. Now, one thing that I would like to clear, now this is the web version of which I think you saw many of which Maurits also showed us. Now we can actually, deploy this in various different channels. Now this is the web channel. Now, the look and feel is totally customizable. Don't think that, okay, this is the only look and feel that Oracle Digital Assistant provides. No, it can be done in any way the customer wants. So if I come over here, the bot greets, says that, hi, this is the expense reimbursement bot. I say that, yes, I want to go for the expense reimbursement. And it asks me my official mail ID. So I just enter it to verify, basically. Then over here, we have a travel. Now it asks us to select our travel date. Now over here, we have a date picker option as well. Now, if you see over here, I can just select the date, whichever date I selected. Now the date ranges can be set from the digital assistant side. So don't think that this is the only date range available. No, we can select, keep any date range. Now over here, I just select 16, suppose. As soon as I submit, it asks me, this is the travel. It asks me to confirm. So if I say no, now instead of entering, I can even type like what Maurits showed in his demos. I can simply say, instead of opening it and selecting, I simply say yesterday. So the bot is actually smart enough to understand that, okay, the person, whoever wants to select, is right or not. So then I say yes. Now then I ask them to kindly upload the invoices. So I just come over here and select my invoice. So now over here, I'm actually selecting any of the restaurant invoices. And if you see over here, I just now selected a invoice, which is something called Marco Polo restaurant name. Now, if you see what the bot does is, it takes the uploaded image and sends it to a backend and tries to check out. Now over here, what we have done is we have integrated with Oracle AI services. So through that integration, it is actually able to read each and everything from the invoice. Now, we can also get even the line items or the food items that we have. But at the moment, these are the different outputs that I have kept for the demo. Now I'm getting the merchant name, the merchant address, and everything out from this demo. Now, suppose if you might say that, can we upload some other image? Okay, let's try that. So if I say no, it will ask me to upload another image. So I'll just come over here and I take some bill, which is, if you see, it's just taken as a image from the mobile camera, but the bot is actually, or the AI services of Oracle Digital Assistant is smart enough to understand that also and read it and bring it in front of you. Now, in this case, if you see, if I just maximize this image, it's something called Prince Cuisines, and that's what we get over here. So it reads exactly each and everything from the image uploaded and gives us the output. Now, if I say yes, if I want to confirm this and submit the request, so I say yes over here. Now it does a small check over here. And before submitting, it says that, well, it has to check, right, that I'm the same person. So who has entered the email ID and stuff. So for that, it has sent me a 4-digit OTP in my email ID. So if I just open it up and see that, yes, I have received the OTP in my mail ID. So this is the OTP 6485. Now, if I just come over here, now instead of 6485, if I try to enter any other OTP to have a check, let me try that. So 9256. And if you see, the bot understands, okay, it does a check that the OTP entered is wrong. So unless if I enter 6485, it's not going to proceed. So this is just one of the ways to check. Now, instead of sending an email, I could have even sent a text message to the person's phone number as well. That's also possible. So over here, thank you for verification. Your request has been taken and you will be updated soon. Now, over here, suppose if I simply say the bot bye, the bot understands that, okay, this particular person is trying to leave. So we also have a feedback mechanism over here where we wanted to take the feedback of the person. So we have the person can come and simply rate himself over here. So for example, if he says 5-star to me, any feedback, so I take the comments from him. So I say, the person says, amazing way of expense reimbursement. Now, whatever feedback that I'm giving, now this can be taken into the backend as well. Like you might want that this feedbacks, whatever feedbacks are coming from the customers has to be taken into a database or into any other app for the admin to view. So for that, what we have designed is we have designed a small web app using VBCS. We can call it as a feedback monitoring system, where what we are doing over here is whatever feedbacks the customers are giving, that is automatically being taken care for the admin to take care of. Now, for example, if you see over here, we have this particular feedback that immediately came, and these are the open statuses that we have. So the admin can have a look into the feedback score, the status, who has created, and all those IDs. Now, suppose, for example, there would have been a feedback where like a person is asking for something. For example, this emojis, please, or something where the admin has to take any action. So he can simply come over here and edit the feedback. And he can actually, like, after taking action, for example, it has been notified to the development team. And we can have a save. We can just save it. Now, this can be used as not only, okay, sorry. I mean, since this was an open status, so after this is done, the admin can actually close it also so that it's closed. Now, if you see, it's closed and this has been notified to the development team. Now, we can also export this to Excel. If we want, we just press it and immediately a export will happen. We can actually filter based on different statuses and whatnot. Now, this particular way, using this way, many of our customers, they are even using this as a ticketing system. So from the digital assistant, you can actually take down complaints where a ticketing system is also assigned, so that from the backend, after the resolution is also provided, if you want to take any actions, for example, if you want to send an email or to the person who has raised it, all the stuffs can be easily customizable. Now, if I come back to the bot, also what we have done is we have now, if you saw that we had the integration with AI services for this, for the the OCR part where we were reading the receipts. We had integration with the backend where we were storing the feedbacks. Not only this, for example, we also have we have a new services provided by AI services over here where we can check sentiments. So for example, if I say hi to the bot and come back to the menu, but if I want to check sentiments, now I thought for this particular demo, what I did was like, I just created something where suppose if a person is coming and asking something irrelevant, which the bot doesn't understand, which the bot is not trained with. So for example, if he says, I want to know more about Donald Trump. Now, obviously, about this question, the bot is not understanding. But what we thought that questions like this, which the bot is not able to understand, we should understand the sentiment. What if the person is angry? What if the person is happy? Or what if the person is just neutral? So this question, if you see, I wanted to know more about Donald Trump. If I just send it, it goes and has a check and it gives an output that we have not understood your input. Please rephrase your question or type menu to see a list of options. So, but we see that this is a neutral question, okay? A neutral question that was asked to the bot. But at the same time, if somebody asks, says something like, I am really unhappy with the way the bot responds. So over here, we understand that the person is not happy. So immediately, now if you see, for the same unresolved intent, we are giving different options to the user. So we say, we have not identified your question, but sense that this could be urgent for you, please talk to our live agent for any help immediately. At the same time, if I simply say, I'm really impressed by your services. Now this looks like a positive one. And if you see over here, I'm sorry, I didn't get that, please try again. And a positive smiley, we're just trying to show that, okay, the bot is actually able to understand the sentiments by what the user is typing. So these were some of the demos or the art of possibilities that we wanted to show, which we have. But apart from that, if we come back over here, now this is what we have in our latest one. This is the dashboard of Oracle Digital Assistant that we have. And if I just open the dashboard, now previously, we used to have different options of creation of the digital assistant, definitely. But recently, we also have a new option where previously it was only for the not only for the developers, but sort of like you needed to have some little bit of YAML coding knowledge. But now going forward, that's also not needed. So for example, we have a new thing where we have a visualflowdesigner. So you can actually go ahead and create your bots using our visualflowdesigner, where you can simply select what you want to do directly without any coding. So without any YAML coding. But even if the developers want to do it through the coding side, that's also option available. So you have to just simply come and select on YAML and go ahead with that. So this is one of the latest addition that we have in Oracle Digital Assistant. And apart from the different other many the other releases, other things also in the latest release, but this is one of the topmost thing. So I think that's it from my side, and back to you, Violetta.
Thank you, Anj. Well, before we move on with the session, I would like to kindly ask you some questions that I saved during your presentation, guys. So I'm curious to know, do we have a feature to show which of these states were called?
Yes. Okay.
And if
So
there is a
you
place actually for the admin where to monitor them?
Yes. Okay. So I'd like to share my screen again for that, Violetta. So
Sure.
okay. So if you see over here, now this was the expense reimbursement bot that I was using. So over here we have a feature there where we have the insights, which is predefined into your skills. Now, if you come over here in insights, you get a whole holistic view as an admin, like which all conversations were done, which all had a unresolved conversation and everything, so that in the future you can actually go ahead and see what all things were actually used. Like if you see the greeting state was hit so many times, the unresolved hit was hit so many times, the user ratings, whatever you saw that we were doing, that also comes over here as well for the admin. So not only the admin has its own feedback component if they want to build it, but apart from that, over here as well, apart from that, we also have options from where the different channels from where the bot was actually hit. So for the admin here, we have a lot of options which he can come, which he can check, which he can see that what all things are now required. After that, if he wants, he can also take export of the whole conversation as well, not conversation but of the reports. So for the admin, everything is predefinedly available for him. But apart from that, apart of the things what we have, if somebody wants to develop their own custom metrics, that's also option is available for them over here.
Great. Thanks a lot for the answer, Anj. And one more question, and I promise that's the last one. So when it comes to how to manage channels, so can a single digital assistant be shown in different channels, like, I don't know, WhatsApp, Facebook, Slack, or
I think just now I think Maurits showed us, so where he was using the same digital assistant in a web SDK and a mobile channel as well. But to show it from the front side, how you do it, how hard is it? Well, it doesn't even require a single line of coding. So if you just come over here and channels is there, so we have predefined channels over here. Like for it, you just need to come and add a channel and then expose your bot to that particular channel. So suppose, for example, this is a Facebook channel which I have. Now I wanted to expose that same expense reimbursement skill to this particular Facebook channel. So I just need to come and click over here and select my expense reimbursement skill. So I just select this and it will be done. That's it. So my bot is live in Facebook as well now. So we can create different channels from here. We have different options, out of the box options which we have. Apart from that, if we have some new options also, for that we have a webhook option through which you can create a webhook and create any channel. So everything is available.
So I see no questions coming. All right. In this case, I would like to consider this meeting to an end. I would like to thank you all for joining the cloud coaching session today. Thank you very much to both Maurits and Anj for presenting. And of course, we are waiting you on upcoming events. Thank you and have a great day.